KT Azteka and Indigenous Network. How's it going, you guys? How's your Tuesday going along? I am T2 Rad.
Nick.
A little one over there, Kanek.
Special guest.
And I'm La Pacheca,
Special guest Bijou.
aka Bijou.
And like I said, we are KT Azteka and Indigenous Network, just bringing you the latest in the indigenous world. So let's start off what we finished off real quick. Do you guys know what this image is?
The sunstone.
All right.
Because it says it right
Well, most people know it as the Aztec calendar,
The
the
sun
sunstone, some prophecies, whatever. A lot of misconceptions behind it, but we don't know who made it, what's its specific purpose, how old it is, or what it represents to the culture that made it. So the person that was commissioned the credit that made this is Ashayak. There we go. The Tatuani. He's the sixth Tatuani of Tenochtitlan, and also his name means water face. He's really accredited with making the water face. He's accredited with making the stone calendar. Stone. Yeah, Kanek Ashayak. He's accredited with the sunstone, and also taking under its wing under the great city of Tenochtitlan, Tlatelolco, the sister city. And it was good because under the leadership of Ashayak, the city expanded. There was more culture. So the stone represented a book. It would tell the story of how they got there, when they got there, and the future, what they were seeing. That's what the stone would represent to the Mexica, and that's what Ashayak is contribute to. So when Ashayak, he's more popular for that. He also, like I said, expanded the city. There's not really much he did. There's a lot he did. But then after the conquest, after 1521, can I get that third image up there? There we go, right here.
Archbishop of Mexico Alonso de Montúfar.
Shortly after La Conquista, he's the one that buried the calendar, the sunstone. He buried it because he didn't want the people to remember their past. He didn't want them to remember their culture or anything because it was under Catholic laws. So it was best, he thought, to the memory of the ancients, sacrifice be lost forever at that site. So when the sunstone was emerged, it was in the 1700s. The city was being reconstructed, and it was a 2-meter depth, not that much, that was under buried. So for 2 centuries, it was buried under, and no one knew about it. It was just like quiet, So that is a little history of the sunstone, Ashayak, and how it got buried and who buried it, because it's Mexican New Year, and that's what it represents.
All right, Mexican New Year.
We keep the tradition still alive, so they didn't bury it. They didn't bury it far enough.
Yeah.
What was it that you were telling me about how they would use it as target practices?
Oh yeah, so during the American-Mexico War, the U.S. cavalry would use the sunstone as target practice to shoot stuff off the stone. It's really sad.
It's disgusting.
And so is the real one in the museum?
Yes, that's the real one in the museum.
Right.
It's in el Museo de Antropología Nacional de México, Ciudad México. And we've been there. It's really nice. The sun, it's big. Once you're in there, you're like, whoa. You think it's like this small thing, but it's huge.
So talking about Mexican New Year. So we are in symbol 3. So in the calendar, if you noticed, there was the sun, and then around it, it was 20 symbols. So now we are on the third symbol, which is reed, and in Nahuatl is acat, also known in Spanish caña. So a caña or a reed is hollow. It's a water symbol, so it's a symbol of wisdom and light, and at the same time, it's like a warrior symbol because when sharpened, it's arrows. And other symbols of the akat is a bunch of them bundled up as arrows.
So also you see it in the chimali, the shield that represents Tenochtitlan. Arrow akats. Yeah. So you guys want to talk about a little bit of Mexican New Year, what you guys experienced at the ceremonia?
Do we have any images of that?
Yeah, can we get some images of the ceremony where we're at this weekend? Yeah.
Or the last one?
Or the last one, there we go.
There you go. Okay, so we participated in a yearly ceremony that's held in Baldwin Park, Mexica New Year, and this one is organized by a group in Ontario, Danza Azteka, and also another group in Baldwin Park, right there at that location. And so this is to represent the coming of the new year. Traditionally, Western idea is that the year ends, December 31st. There's an aerial view of it. And if you think about it, naturally, the year or life doesn't end when we're still in winter. We begin when it's spring. And so obviously spring equinox is in March, mid-March, usually the 20th, 21st. And so this is, for us, our new year, instead of it being January 1st.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is that the misperception, the misconception is that our ways, our traditions are no longer here. They've been buried in the past or anything like that. But if you remember seeing that picture, the aerial view, how we were all in a giant spiral, that's how we were danced 600 years ago. There we go. That's how exactly it was, the danza 600 years ago. The drummers in the middle and all the danzantes on the side, just swirling. And that represents the cosmos, the energies, everything just flowing around.
And also in the middle is the altar, the poposhkomi, which we have right here, a mini version. And also at the entrance, when you're coming in, you're being smudged by the copaleras or samadoras to be cleansed in. And not anyone could just go in there. You can't just walk in there and take pictures.
No, there's a level of respect that we still have to remember with these ceremonial ways or just traditional ways, because everything like in life evolves. So now we're all about getting that picture, that perfect selfie and everything, which is cool. But then, let's keep that little respect when it comes to our ancestors' knowledge. And just a quick shout out to Sunny.
What's Sunny saying?
Smoke signals.
Hey, what does my shirt say? Listen, decolonize, and heal. Thanks to NPP. So moving on.
Hi, Sunny.
Oh.
Hi, Sunny.
Hi, Sunny. If we could show the image of the pyramid. Okay, so that one is in Yucatan. This is a popular place right now. People go on there for spring break, but culturally, this is a very important place for our ancestors and still for us today. Here, this pyramid is named Chichen Itza, and during this time, spring equinox, the shadow of the serpent appears to be walking down. So that the shadow that you see in movement, if you're there when it happens, it's actually moving with the sun coming down.
That's pretty cool. Didn't Chichen Itza I don't know if you guys saw the video on Instagram, but you see everything on Instagram. But it had like a tornado. Did you guys see that?
Oh, that's right. And I saw that people were saying it was the return of Kukulkan. So this is the castle of Kukulkan.
So, what the beauty about that picture is that it's all shadow play. The pyramids, the steps, everything has to hit at a specific angle with the light. And it's not just by chance or coincidence.
No,
it was done
it's
there
not
for a
coincidence.
purpose.
Right.
Uh-huh,
And
so-
also the pyramids, it's 4 sides, right? A pyramid.
Mhm.
And the steps, it's 91 steps. 91 times 4 is 364. So what does that remind you of? 364.
365 days.
Right, 365 days in a
Circle.
year.
A circle. There we go. A circle
Right?
too.
Right, exactly. And so, like what we're saying is not a coincidence. Our ancestors were able to calculate constellations, the equinoxes, the solsticios, all of that without modern technology.
Yeah.
Now, this is another image, also in Yucatan, in Tulum, nearby Chichen Itza. And so, at the sunrise and sunset, in this ruin, the sun appears in the middle. And also in this area, there's also, we don't have an image of it, but of a ruin that's a observatory. So the observatory nowadays that are modern take on you could say even the teachings that our ancestors had, because our ancestors knew that everything was circular, not linear.
And you know the beauty of it is that this knowledge is not like only a specific few people could know it, or it's secret knowledge or anything. It's there in plain sight, and our ancestors left us all this knowledge so us to study it and apply it to our lives as much as best as possible, because you know we're living in the 21st century. We can't go back to the 15th century and
Hold on, let's just hop in our time traveling machine.
Oh, we can with our dreams.
oh yeah, but what I'm trying to say is apply that knowledge to today's times with today's issues, instead of thinking the misconception like, oh, they were in the past so it doesn't count anymore.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, that it still counts, but we need to interpret it to the standards of 21st century.
Our lives matter too.
Our lives matter. What?
Well, it's like I'm just like talking about how like our culture is like so underestimated. Like people don't really shine light on it, and
Right.
it sucks. Like that's why we're here to shine light on it and like you drop some knowledge on
Right. So the colonizers didn't come to, a land of people who were savages that didn't have a way of life that was advanced. Oh no, it was way more advanced than Europeans. And that actually reminds me that in the news, AMLO, the president of Mexico, is asking, he wrote about that Spain should be pidiendo perdón, right? Pidiendo perdón. Perdón in English is?
Asking for
Forgiveness.
forgiveness.
Yeah, asking for forgiveness for the colonizers, killing a lot of people.
Because
And I'm totally on a stand with him.
it's not that just they killed our people, they killed everything, our history, our knowledge, our way of life, our culture, everything from our daily basic foods to our
religious backgrounds.
everything. So Spain should apologize, and the Pope too, and everyone in between.
I don't know if it's true, but I'm gonna say it anyways. So apparently, that the president of Spain responded by saying that actually the Americas should also apologize because they killed the conquistadores. What do y'all think about that?
I think they both should apologize to Mexico for taking our land and killing off our people, killing off our history. So I think they both should just give us back our items back, what belongs to us as a people, because it gives, some of us a better understanding of where we're coming from, a better knowledge actually. Like it just makes life better. Just knowing where you're from and knowing in full detail like exactly what went down and what your ancestors did.
And this reminds me of a conversation yesterday in our Practica. One of our members was just expressing why she wanted to join danza, why it was very important for her to understand her past. And as we were talking, she was very uh, not angry but passionate towards our history of how the Spanish came, because there's a lot of resentful in us, but it's not like, oh, hatred, but more of why did this happen? Of course, we all know why it happened. Worlds have to clash. The world is round. Somehow or another, these two civilizations were gonna meet some point or another. But more of why did they burn the books? Why was the culture buried? There's a lot of history that's not known, but yet there's a great awakening that people just want to know more about the past and the history.
Yeah, you don't see us burning the American history textbooks. You don't see us doing none of that.
At least not in public. No, just kidding. This actually reminds me of a book called by Ana Castillo called Massacre of the Dreamers.
Mm-hmm.
And so it talks about the colonization, how our people not only was the physical things killed, demolished, annihilated, but also our dreams, right? I think our people not just relied, but it was something, a practice of ours to tap into the dream world, tap into spirit for healing. And I think a lot of us are trying to find that through our road of decolonization, and at the same time, we're trying to balance ourselves in this world.
Yeah, and like also like, I'm not a parent, but I know some parents are like, they should start a petition of like, come on, like talk about the actual real facts of our history. Like, how did California come to become California? How did, like, say the straight up truth, you know? Don't sugarcoat it. Don't just give a little paragraph of, Sacagawea the savage. Like, no, don't do that. Like, really say the truth. Like, because all I remember in high school, honestly, actually in elementary school, I don't know if you guys had to do a Catholic,
the mission.
the missions. So I remember in elementary school, I didn't have to do it. My brother, not him, but my other brother,
Not this guy.
this was before. He helped me build pyramids because even as I was younger, my mom and my siblings were able to understand that I should have not been doing the missions. I should be doing the pyramids, and that's what I remember the teacher. He was okay with it. I did Mr. Schumacher. He was okay that I did the pyramids, the Aztec pyramids, and how I created it and stuff. So yeah, like, just encourage your kids. They don't have to do the missions. If a teacher tries to make your child do the mission, then you talk it up to the school board.
Yeah, and actually, some school districts have changed that. I know in San Bernardino School District, they transitioned to maybe not all the schools, but the schools I've seen is they study now the native people of California, and the students either are designated a nation that they build a home of how traditionally they would build it. Mm-hmm. So, of course, not all schools are doing that, but that is a step into a better direction instead of doing the missions.
And in high school, like, don't only shine the light on Sacagawea. Like, there was a lot of tribes here. The Covillas, the Serranos, what's Richard and Elisa?
Ohlone.
The Ohlonis, the Mexicas. We were all here, but they try to make it seem like it was only Sacagawea. And what was Sacagawea?
A woman who
No, I know.
who led
The tribe, though.
well, she was from the East Coast, so she led the two explorers to find like the
The West
direction.
Coast.
Yeah, to find the direction.
So she was a guide.
Yeah, she was the guy. So
Oh.
she was a parallel, you would say, to
La Malinche?
La Malinche, our version of La Malinche. Some people say, oh, she's a traitor because she helped. But in reality, it's like when you're a woman in that position, are you really a traitor? Are you trying to survive? And in image of Sacagawea, they always show her that she had a child. So it's like, am I going to really have myself killed, or am I going to go, along with this?
And just to really touch up on the Malinche, she was given to Hernán Cortés,
And she was part of royalty.
and she was part of royalty, so she was given as a gift because she was seen as worthy enough to lead these explorers on, because they saw them as just another tribe, not as invaders, but because they saw them as like competing, so trying to win over the capitals. So she was just there to translate.
There we go.
You know.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good old Sacagawea.
Okay, so one time in high school, I remember I'm not going to say his name, because he was a cool teacher, but I didn't agree what he called me.
All right.
Because
What do you call you? Pocahontas?
he called me Sacagawea for the rest of the
Oh.
semester, and I was like, I don't appreciate you calling me Sacagawea. But he only called me that because of like how I was proud of doing Mexica dancing. I was proud of my culture, and I would always come in with my feathers or my beaded necklaces. So yeah, I kind of got made fun of that because I would wear what I would wear usually.
And it's understandable because it's not the norm. You're standing out and being a little different, which is fine, and it takes a lot of courage because it's your identity, but it's more your ancestors speaking and ancestors saying, this is who I am, embrace it, instead of denying it.
Yeah. So like encourage your children, to be proud to wear their beaded necklaces, to wear feathers in their hair. If a teacher tries to, like my experience, call them Sacagawea or something, take it up to the principal, take it up to them, tell them that you don't appreciate them calling your child something they're not. So yeah, like that was my experience.
He just discovered that he could see himself.
And if you guys have any comments, you guys want to leave a comment, just let us know anything that we could try to answer.
Any comments on Facebook right now?
Just Sunny. Just a
Oh,
quick
okay.
shout out to Sunny
Hey,
again.
Sunny. And so going back to Mexica New Year, and this is the time of rebirth for a lot of people.
Can you pull up that picture of the little baby hummingbird? There we go.
This hummingbird was found on a branch of avocado tree here in Riverside.
Can I tell the story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so everybody knows that my name is Hummingbird. And it was funny because I was walking and it hit me on the head. And I almost knocked the poor baby over. And I looked up because my hair was stuck and obviously I had to take it off. And I saw the little baby hummingbird and yeah, I got excited and I called Iso Claudia. I was like, oh, look at the baby hummingbird.
Claudia.
Oh, Claclaele and La Pacheca. There's just some random people I found, The other two. Disregard the other names.
But see, that hummingbird, it represents rebirth and represents the cycle of nature, and that's what not the calendar, but the sunstone represented, the cycle of nature. We lived in one with nature, and yet the world we lived in, we try as humans to separate ourselves from nature instead of understanding we are part of the cycle of nature. And embrace it. Embrace it, because, we celebrate New Year's when everything is dead. There's no
So
flowers,
cold.
it's still cold, everything. But yet, our Mexican New Year, everything's alive. Everything comes back to
The
life.
super bloom
springs.
going on right now.
Yeah, the super bloom. Who wouldn't want to dance for all that and breathe in that clean air?
And the Galson are all the flowers blooming. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and I know it's hard to live in a Western world where everything's dictated through the calendar, months, times, everything's rush, rush, rush. But it's like I said, take your time and understand your ancestors' ways and apply it to 21st century. Yeah.
And also taking into consideration that during these times of transition from one season to another, you're more likely to get sick if you're unbalanced. Something that I recommend that I used to do before having children is doing a fast, a cleanse. And there's actually many forms of cleansing. If you want to cleanse from using technology, from a certain habit that you have that you want to cool off for like 3-4 days or however many days. Something that I used to do is do a fruit cleanse, which I would just eat raw fruits and vegetables for 3 or 4 days, or just eat soups. So something that you feel that you can come into a new season with more clarity. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight or I'm trying to let go of or actually you kind of do want to let go of something, but at the same time you're doing something physically, because that correlates with your mind. When you're doing something physically of cleansing, of letting go, that speaks to you that you're tapping into that you are going to do it and becoming a habit of letting go of things.
And just as a new habit is born, your old habit needs to go away. And that's the difficult part, is the formation of a new habit. But once it's born, it stays. And that's the good part.
But I mean, sometimes we fall back in habits. And that's okay too. Not being too hard on yourselves. And, just keep moving forward.
Yeah, and understand we're in the time of growth. So this is spring, is growth. Grow yourself, grow your mind, grow your body, create new habits, and live long.
Grow the little longitas. I'm just kidding.
And spring cleaning, clear out everything that you don't need anymore, the physical stuff if you can. Because sometimes when you feel stuck, it's like you just want to stay stuck in one area and just be gloomy. But nature reminds us that we don't need these physical things. And so if you can just start, getting rid of stuff that you don't need, that's where I think spring cleaning comes from. It's like you're starting new, fresh, and that's bringing in more energy. Because if you have things that you haven't moved in a year, things that you've been saying and putting to the side, like, oh, I'm going to do that next week or tomorrow, and you never do it, then that's like a habit that you need to overcome. So it's starting just one day at a time, okay, I'm gonna start on that corner, or I'm gonna remove this now. Just taking that initiative, and that's what spring is about, taking that initiative, because winter was about, okay, taking everything in, reflecting, not going out much, and now we're like ready to move. So if things are in your way, you're not gonna move that much forward.
And, speaking something you said really quick about the winter, it goes back to the seasons, how we do follow all these seasons through nature. Because, the bears, when they fall asleep during the winter, and then most of our brothers on this side follow the bear path, the bear ceremonies, the bear teachings. So when it's time to put things away, the bear hibernates, it goes in its cave, and it relaxes.
Right.
But it's a metaphor to do internal cleaning, do internal thought.
Reflection.
So when the bear does come out of spring, out of its cave, it's ready to eat, it's ready to hunt, and has a new habit of life. And that's what most of our Native American brothers follow up here, that tradition of the bear, the cycles, again, of nature. And just to top it off, just a little advice out there, habits are free. They don't cost anything. Not like worthless junk of like toys that just pile up and go nowhere. So habits are free, and take advantage of them because they're a limited time.
Unlimited time. Yeah.
Sounds like I have to go run and buy it.
Well, because see, habits are not valued because there's no price to it, so there's no value on it. There's not a big shiny tag that says habit, this much. No, it's your own internal will. What is the price are you willing to pay for this habit to be born?
Oh, I see. Your investment to it, because a habit can actually be expensive, right? However much you invest into it.
Yeah.
Right, personally.
But the formation of it is free.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like for example, my spring cleaning happened. I started tossing stuff that I don't need anymore. One of them's clothes. I'm a person that likes clothes, and I get attached to clothes. So I told myself I need to get rid of the clothes that I don't use anymore because it's just sitting there. And what am I gonna use it for? And it's like it's a mental battle because then you tell yourself, oh, I could use this like someday when like just in case an emergency, oh, like a job interview or something else, and it's just like, no, let's be realistic. You're not gonna use this again. Like, just toss it. You're not gonna use these shoes anymore. Toss it. You're not gonna use this anymore. Toss it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just stop playing the mental game and just do it, because then you'll feel better. And that's true. Like when you do the spring cleaning, you start feeling better about yourself. You don't feel gloomy anymore. You don't feel gloomy. You start getting out of that mindset that you were stuck in, and it's a better feeling.
And if you need help forming a new habit, then come every Mondays to our practice.
Right, physical. Doing anything physical is gonna help you out. But danza incorporates the physical and the spiritual, because we incorporate the songs, the danza, with the drumming, the music, and also the medicine of the copal and other plants. Because when you incorporate also the essence of the plants, and we had our plant expert, one of our plant experts last week or the other time, talk about the importance of incorporating plants into our lives, because that brings us life.
Mm-hmm. Life equals life.
Mm-hmm. And also with the location that we're at, Corazon Counseling, it also offers services for women that are gonna have children or postpartum, family therapy. I know they're doing a series for birthing, a series for for doulas. And so these are ongoing programs that if you didn't catch it at the beginning, it's going to happen again. So connect with that, Corazon Counseling, if you're interested in that, or if you're interested in, or you're planning to have a family. It doesn't matter if you identify as a man or a woman. This is services for everyone.
Yeah. So we're gonna, lead off with the song today, because it is Mexican New Year. Well, in the spirit of Mexican New Year, so let's sing a song.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna lead the drum, Pichu, Brad? La hija de Huitzilopochtli.
Vamos a cantar.
¿Nos quieres ayudar? Vente,
Ven. We're gonna sing the mother's song, Hueto Nancy.
It's an oldie but goodie.
Oldie but goodie. Yeah, it is in the danza world. Tutuna.
1, 2, 3.
Hueto Nancy, Nancy, Hueto Nancy. Hueto Nancy, Nancy, Hueto Nancy. Ipanemo wani, toyo loto taxi, kaso kamari, to Nancy. Ipanemo
últimas palabras?
This video was brought to you by Fiber Hut.
Fire hot.
All right, Fry Bread Hut.
Awesome. Give a big shout out to them. Catch them every Sunday at the Tyler Mall here in Riverside. If you're driving through,
And
you know, just shoot on by. You know, they always have the freshest.
Hot.
They have always the freshest strawberries because they buy them on site.
All the
Yeah.
produce.
And if you're in LA on Friday, catch us at the Black and Red Co-op.
There we go, Mercado. We'll be there from 5 p.m. to 11. It's a pretty cool spot, and it's an indigenous space.
They have Huipil fashion show.
Yes.
So if you're interested in buying a Huipil, attend the fashion show to see which one you like.
Right, especially because what they sell is fair trade, so the person that made it, they didn't get taken advantage of.
So hook up your people, you know.
Mm-hmm. They caught you. So yeah, so we're just gonna say thank you so much.
Don't forget about our KT Azteka summer camp.
Yeah, summer's around the corner.
Don't forget to sign up your kids. Drop them. We have workshops. We have a workshop on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You want to speak a little bit more on that?
So this workshop, we are scheduling them for one in April and one in May, leading up to the actual summer camp. We don't have a date yet, but we will be at the Mission Inn Library on April 14th on Sunday, and that's in Riverside, to do Azteca dance with question and answers for the community, and it's free. So if you want to learn more, if you're interested and you still haven't gone to our practice and you just, you're curious and want to bring your family, come on down.
I will be leading the workshop.
Yes, T2 Red leads the workshops, so come and get to know her. She's pretty awesome with kids, and this is our 3rd year doing it. And we're going strong, and the goal is to make a big camp for the kids to have a great summer, not just summer, but every season, because our ways are coming back strong, and why not teach our kids about it, not just the danza or the culture, but just how to be in tune with nature and respect nature, because the kids nowadays, it's sad, and it just gets me sad when you're driving down the freeway and someone just throws trash out the window. So that's just my goal, to help out a little bit more by showing a little bit more respectful ways towards nature. And then we have a comment right here. Berta says, write the address down for the Mercado or our...
Oh, did the Mercado not have the address?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to post that up.
So
we'll post up the addresses to everything that where we'll be at, because we haven't posted up anything on Facebook, only on IG. So if you're able to follow us on Instagram, KT Azteka, Azteka with a K, not a C.
Or,
Yeah.
Oh, and it's got KT Azteka 13 actually. So
Oh, yes,
remember
for
to
the
put that
event.
13
yes, for
for
the
following us on IG.
KT_Azteka with a K, not a C, 13.
Oh, I think we're confusing people because there's no underscore. All right.
All right,
yes,
here's
we'll
the
put
real
up a
one.
list.
Here's the real one, Claudia. Pacheca.
KT Azteka and Azteka with a K, not a C. The number 13, 13.
And that is the real one.
For IG, for Instagram.
If not, just hit us up on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then shortly after the video's over, we'll put the address up for the Mercado for this Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. And just remember, your kids have the golden ticket to do KT Azteka summer camp, so don't forget to sign them up.
Yes, rain sticks, rattles, the works.
The words.
Tamales.
So yeah, like I said, big shout out to Private Hut and tuning out.
Get the OG bison yummy in your tummy. Strawberry.